Oregon Business Association congratulates co-speakers Bruce Hanna and Arnie Roeblen as its 2011 Oregon Statesman of the Year. In 2011, the Oregon House of Representatives made history by electing co-speakers Bruce Hanna and Arnie Roeblen to guide a 30-30 split House. Because of the integrity, intelligence, and values of these two exceptional leaders, what could have been legislative deadlock turned out to be one of the most productive legislative sessions in recent history. This year, the Oregon Business Association honors co-speakers Bruce Hanna and Arnie Roeblen as Statesman of the Year.
Like many rural legislators, they're very close to their constituents and very concerned about what they can do to improve their economic condition. And I guess I'd say they're both men of remarkable integrity.
They just were brothers. They fought like brothers fought. They disagreed the way brothers fought, but they were siblings. In the end, that's my brother.
First time in the history of the state of Oregon that the House was tied. First time in the history that we had a third-term governor.
The co-speakers do something that we just don't see enough of, and that's statesman-like behavior of a Republican and Democrat who disagree on things, but still like each other, driving around the state to these town halls. This state needed that so badly.
The two speakers entered the House facing a $3.5 billion shortfall and an unemployment rate over 10%. Despite these challenges, Speakers Hanna and Roeblen displayed profound grace under fire and an indelible commitment to accomplishing what is best for Oregon.
The folks that we had elected to be leadership, with Arnie Roeblen being over on the Democratic side and Bruce Hanna on the Republican side, I had absolute faith that it was going to work.
Co-speakers Hanna and Roeblen are really an interesting combination because you have an ex-principal who's been spending his career working with building consensus and trying to keep different teachers and different people happy. And then you have the traits of Bruce Hanna, who is an intelligent businessman who understands the importance of identifying what needs to be done, determining what plans or options, and then choosing the best one and moving ahead. And so they actually were a great complement for each other.
They proved themselves true statesmen as they worked across the aisle to balance the budget and implement critical changes for Oregon.
Speaker Roeblen and I have been in the legislature together for really roughly the same amount of time. I got appointed, he got elected, but we've served the cycles together. We've always been friendly, we've always had a good relationship. He's always been a go-to guy on education, and he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Bruce Hanna has an amazing array of skills as a leader. You see it in the business that he has, and that personality that says, I'm going to get something done and people are going to want to follow me do it, Bruce has that. When it comes to honesty and integrity, two qualities that it's hard to follow anybody that doesn't possess them, and Bruce has those qualities. His integrity, his word is golden.
Politics was a natural fit for Arnie. He genuinely enjoys solving problems. Arnie's somebody that is very, very happy to confront a difficult situation and is always looking for the win-win.
The co-speakers are both consummate family men who are dedicated to their families, communities, and to Oregon. Co-speakers Hanna and Roeblen brought unique perspectives and areas of expertise to the House of Representatives.
Bruce's leadership ability definitely shines through in any situation, and this was evident from early on that Bruce had the ability to lead.
He puts his whole heart and soul into what he does, and with a lot of work and integrity and honesty and to be straightforward with people. I think that's so important.
So we would sit around the dining room table, have political discussions, compromise, collaboration, treating everyone with dignity and respect were the rules that we learn to live by. I don't know if everyone realizes how playful he is, but he is playful and loves to play tricks.
What he believes in and his political beliefs are very different from mine. But our backgrounds are similar. We came from small towns. We had very strong families. He with a lot of sisters.
I specifically remember all of us girls getting in the station wagon and going to the hospital and picking up Mother. And she had this special little bundle in her arms, and it was our new little brother, Bruce.
So as you might realize, we were thrilled to have a brother. We had all sorts of expectations for him always, and he lived up to those expectations.
My grandpa would explain that, it's always very important to anticipate the needs of others. That idea has taught him to be a wonderful father and husband and friend and politician.
I'm the kind of person that during prayer I always reach out and take the hand of someone who is near me. I like to pray together. And so as soon as we bow our heads to pray, I immediately reach out to grab Arlene's hand.
When we were at the signing in, Teresa, Hannah, and I were sitting next to each other, and she reached over to me and took my hand.
And as I reach out to grab her hand, she just immediately grabs mine.
And it was a really special moment. We held hands through that whole time, and I knew then that I needed to not worry about quality of person.
And I knew from that moment we were just two wives who loved two men who had worked very hard to get where they were.
That they were in it together, and that we were there to make sure that they got what they needed in terms of family support, and it was a really special moment.
Well, the Hannah family, which Bruce is a huge part of, has been just a major mainstay in Douglas County, not just in Roseburg. It's really grounded in the kinds of family-based businesses that we have here.
Sure. Well, Arnie's been extremely important to this community in terms of his support for economic development. He has recognized that the recession that we've been in here on the coast for the last 30 years needs to be solved. And he supported every project that comes along, and he actually refers to them as our project.
From when he was a principal to when he became a politician, he's stayed true to himself as a caring individual, as somebody who is a great communicator, as somebody who cares about people, and that comes through, and that's just Arnie.
Representative Roblin listens, and he truly cares. He puts you at ease so that you can have those difficult conversations with each other and come to consensus on finding resolution.
He got into politics after going and testifying in front of committees, and he made a decision that he was going to be on the other side of the table, and that's what got him involved.
Well, I've known Bruce since 2001. He was on the Board of Trustees for the Cancer Center. So just a fantastic person at bringing people together and reaching a conclusion, as he says, for the greater good.
It was always nice to have Arnie at meetings, because if he had an issue, most of the time it was dealt with before he arrived. He had a solution. And most of the time when you were dealing with Arnie, everybody came out a winner.
One thing that I see Bruce has done a good job of in his district is to go out and try to talk to people. He's a guy that's very comfortable going up to a perfect stranger and talking about what's going on and what's affecting them and what's on their mind. And I think that's a wonderful quality for any politician to have.
Speakers Hannah and Roblin are two very different people, but these differences proved complementary, forming a bond that resulted in creative solutions and tangible results.
It's that kind of leadership, the kind that is quiet, forceful, and with good conscience that we need, and Congress needs it desperately. But we need it here, and I think the two that are given the award demonstrated that democracy does work, and the legislature can be civil and can perform, and I'm proud to be a witness to that.
Well, I think the leadership qualities for the co-speakers came almost naturally because they're both rural Oregonians. So they had very much the same kind of mindset toward public policy, and they understood that it was necessary that they agree and that they negotiate and look like statesmen as this very unusual historic thing took place. And they lived up to my expectations, certainly.
You know, when you talk about what it would be like to work with these two, I would say it was very rewarding, and it was the kind of relationship where you really truly trusted both of them.
The co-speakers are men of integrity whose values transcend party lines. They both have the gift of listening, a willingness to sacrifice for the good of Oregon, and a rare ability to forge compromise.
We tried to anticipate results rather than wait for the result and then deal with what that was. And what I mean by that is even in conflict resolution, we had a process set up by where when conflict happened, and we were sure it would, and it did, we had a resolution process to get through it.
Both of us had a commitment that we were going to make it work. And, you know, it was kind of like, and I think one time we were walking down the hall, Bruce said this, it's like a marriage. You know, we're stuck here, we're going to do this, we're going to get through this together. So we might as well keep talking and figuring it out, even when we disagree. We have to come back and figure out what's the path forward.
The dysfunction of the U.S. Senate makes the Oregon legislature, by comparison, a shining example of professionalism and efficiency.
When you look back on everything from the education package to the healthcare transformation to the redistricting agreements, whether you like every aspect of those packages or not, I think you have to acknowledge that they were significant accomplishments for the legislature and not things you would have expected necessarily to come out of a 30-30 divided House.
When you work together with people, particularly under stressful situations, you see them in a different light, and I have developed a genuine friendship with both Bruce and Ernie, and I'm sure that will last far longer than my term in office.
The relationship between these two speakers has been a great advertisement for our state as a good place to live, work, and play.
Co-speakers Bruce Hanna and Arnie Roblin, two public servants who can truly be called statesmen.